Congratulations, Dr. Ramsey. We'll miss you.
We love you, Dr. Ramsey. Happy retirement. Good luck, Dr. Ramsey. We love you.
We'll miss you. Miss you.
Hi, Dr. Ramsey. Congratulations on your retirement. You don't recognize me, but I certainly know you. You took care of me a few years ago when I was in the worst pain of my life with herniated discs, and I ended up in your ER, and I was so grateful for your help. Not only did you help me out that day, but you pointed me in the right direction for more sustained, permanent care for my back, and it has been life-changing. And I want to say thank you. I know you've helped countless people, and I'm just one of those people, letting you know that you made a huge difference. So thank you so much.
Dr. Ramsey, Brandon Mancini here. Little did I know I would have the chance to work with you personally after you took such great care of my wife. I just want to say thank you as well. You truly have impacted so many lives and families, not only in the Richmond community, but throughout the entire state and the entire Mid-Atlantic area. Thank you so much for your continued time and energy with everyone, and we just want to say we appreciate all that you've done. Thank you.
pick up what I'm putting down. Ooh, baby, I'm your handyman. I'm not the kind to use a stick on. I whisper sweet words, you tell all your friends, they come running to me. There's the main thing I wanna say, I'm busy 24 hours a day. I fix broken hearts, I know I surely can. If your broken heart needs repair, I'm the man to see. I whisper sweet words, you tell all your friends, they come running to me. There's the main thing I wanna say, I'm busy 24 hours a day. I fix broken hearts, I know I surely can.
We've only just begun to live. White lace and promises, a kiss for luck and we're on our way.
We've only begun.
Before the rising sun we fly. So many roads to choose. We start out walking and learn to run.
And yes, we've just begun.
Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day.
My dad is an amazing doctor because of his ability to diagnose people very quickly. I spent a lot of time with him in the emergency room throughout my childhood and when I was a volunteer with Force View Volunteer Rescue Squad. Sometimes we would walk into a patient's room together and we'd walk out and he would just say, that patient has such and such, without looking at any images or doing any tests. One time I called him and all I said was, Dad, I'm having terrible pain in my back. And he said, you're having a kidney stone. Go to the emergency room.
There are two things I know about my dad that make him the amazing physician he is: his love of learning and his love of people. He showed me these things in many ways as a child, but two that stand out are stopping at the towing yard to look at the cars that his patients were injured in so he could better understand their injuries. And you know he speaks Portuguese, so of course the time that a Brazilian family came to the emergency room and had no money and spoke no English and had nowhere to go, of course he brought them home.
Hi, I thought I would share a few thoughts on what it was like to grow up with a physician as a father. As a young child, it meant that almost every time he came home, we would go to the door to report whatever ailments or injuries had occurred in his absence. We were either told to cut it off, or if it were quite severe, that he would have to take us out back and shoot us. As a teenager, it meant listening intently as my brother called to tell him that he had wrecked the car, and to hear my father only ask first of all, is everyone okay? As a young adult, it meant describing my ailments to my father in great detail, in hopes that I would come across just the right vocabulary or terminology, that he would know what fatal illness I had. As the mother of young children who lived right across the street from him, it meant stitches on the kitchen table, glued fingers and ears, and it meant taking the face of my 12-year-old son in my hands and saying, Dad, I don't want glue, I want your perfect sutures. This is the face of my firstborn child. In subsequent years, it meant texts of all kinds of rashes and cuts asking for advice. It meant phone calls at any time of day or night to get advice on any emergency or illness. And now that he's retired, it means for the first time in my life, I will need to find a primary care physician. Thank you for always being there, Dad. I love you, and I'm so proud of you. Happy retirement.
Hi, Dad. Congratulations on your retirement. I still can't believe you really did it, but I'm proud of you for everything that you've done and all the many people you've been able to help. It was pretty great to grow up with a dad that could keep us safe and take care of us in ways that most other dads couldn't. I realized as I was thinking of my different memories of times I visited you at Johnson Willis or Chippenham, or you would take me for an x-ray or something, that I have the distinction of being the only one of your children who ever had emergency surgery at either Johnson Willis or Chippenham. And what I remember most vividly about that is that you never touched me, but I know that you called the hospital and you told them that you were bringing in your daughter because she had appendicitis. And sure enough, they did some blood work. Dr. Bubba Dietrich came down and poked around at me, and that's the first time that something hurt and I knew that something was really wrong, not just that I didn't feel so hot. So thank you for knowing what was wrong with me and taking care of me and visiting me upstairs while I was in the hospital when you were at work. I appreciate everything you've done for me and the advice that I can seek from you no matter what I need. And I know that you and Mom will do great things and love and serve the people of Portugal and keep them safe too. I love you.
Hey Dad, I'm getting ready to go into work. Everybody knows you're my hero. Thanks so much for all the stitches and all the midnight calls for my pain and suffering and for all the ambulance chasing. I just hope that I can live up to the person that you are and continue to serve people with compassion and be the best clinician ever. I got a long ways to go, but I'm grateful for your example and all the things that you taught me on the job. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Hi, Dad. It's great to be able to take a moment here and just talk about what an amazing doctor you are and have been for so long. I'd like to begin by pointing out that it is your own diagnostic skills that we have to thank for your presence here tonight. You have saved your own life at least twice that I recall by being able to know what was the matter before anyone else did. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. I have no idea what I'd ever do without you. I have, of course, so many stories over the years that I've lived out here in Arizona. The times that we would call you to ask what might be the matter with some member of Jenna's family, usually. And even when the doctors out here had no clue what was the matter, you could always sort it out in short order. It was a joke around the house for some years that you should be the star of your own game show called maybe Name That Illness. You could always figure out what was wrong with anybody in less than 3 questions, I thought. And they were usually quite simple ones. Out of all the stories, I have a personal favorite that I'll share with you now, but this is more a story about me, but it's too good to pass up. Anyway, about 20 years ago, I can't believe it's been that long, but yes, when Jenna was pregnant with Abby, I came home from work one night and she had a splitting headache. And of course, I've only ever had one prescription for a headache, and that's Excedrin. That's what I always take. And so I said, well, honey, why don't you just take some Excedrin? And she said, well, I don't think I can take that. Oh, why don't you call your dad and ask him whether I can take Excedrin? And I said, well, don't be ridiculous. Of course you can take it. It's perfectly harmless. Over the counter and everything. I'm not going to call him. But finally she prevailed upon me to do so. And I called you up. Said, Dad, can Jenna take Excedrin for a headache? No, absolutely not. It's got aspirin in it. She'll bleed out. And I said, all these years later, I still can't believe it. I said, Dad, are you sure? I mean, I really wanted my wife's headache to go away that night. You, of course, said, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Don't give it to her. I want my grandchild to live. So, you can add Abigail to the never-ending list of lives that you have saved. Love you, Dad.
You